First of all, on behalf of my family, thank you all so much for being here today. And I'm going to look at you now in case I can't the rest of my little sharing. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Poet and playwright William Shakespeare understood that names are not as important as our substance. However, mother, sister, wife, grandmother, Jane wore many names. Our mother, the Hoosier. My mother was born in southern Indiana, and her Indiana heritage stuck to her like the sticky red soil that was under her feet as a child. She told stories of spending most days barefoot, outside in the sun, whiling away the many hours at the local swimming pool. What was most sticky about Washington was the people. Friends, cousins, siblings, and parents all belonged to this place she first called home. Her daddy, as she called him, was an electrician, and her mother volunteered and worked at the local hospital most of her adult life. Her childhood, as I imagined it, was a typical 1950s upbringing. Mother, the sister. She loved her siblings deeply, but it must have been a rough and tumble childhood. My Uncle Matt marveled at her ability to sit on one brother and fend the other off with her hands. The boys exacted their revenge on one occasion, holding her down and cutting off her ponytail. She wore a scarf to school for the rest of the year. On another occasion, my Uncle Gale apparently blackmailed my mom, and so she had to take his turn doing the dishes. When Ed Sullivan came on, Mom was distracted, and the sink overflowed into the drawers and onto the floor. They both were punished. Another tale I heard of often was Gale guarding the stairs like a boy in the nest of a ship, quick to report the second my mother arrived late. You can see they loved each other in a way that only siblings can fully understand. I remember fondly our trips to Washington, where I would get to visit my grandpa's electrical shop and take trips to the Dairy Queen. My mom was a Washington hatchet. And like in most places in Indiana, basketball was everything. I think their basketball arena may have held as many people as the population of the entire town. I'm sure that's an exaggeration, but my mom's family were die-hard IU fans. My dad's family were all Purdue Boilermakers, and that was a point of contention. Our mother, the wife. My parents met through a mutual friend, and their first date was at the local Davies County Fair, an appropriate prelude for their life to come. When they met, Mom was dating several boys, each with their assigned day of the week. When my dad entered the picture, it created chaos. According to him, the plan was scrapped after he entered the picture, and except for being followed around town by some of the disappointed boys, it worked out. After one of my parents' dates, my grandfather was heard saying, "Have you got rid of that bum yet?" Not realizing he was standing in the next room. The answer, of course, was no, starting an almost 6-decade love affair. Like many marriages, my parents seemed to understand and love each other in a way that no one else could. My dad empowered, encouraged, and supported my mom's educational ventures, degrees from Silver Lake and Cardinal Sturge, after she had done the same for him. He supported her in all of her professional pursuits, and my mom was grateful for that. My mom cared for my dad in a very special way, a buffer at times between my dad and the outside world. They were a team, and rarely apart since their retirement. For better or worse, in sickness and in health, theirs was a marriage of love. The gardener. Our mother was grounded in the earth. Each year she planted a garden the size of Rhode Island. Or at least it seemed that way to the official rock and weed pickers. My brother Lance shared that he pictured Mother as the eternal gardener, planting seeds of knowledge, compassion, understanding, kindness, and love. She loved roses and vegetables and took pride in her forever geraniums during the last few years. The opinionated. Mother could be bristly and opinionated, especially when she felt there was an injustice. She had strong opinions on politics, religion, and education, all inherited by her children and grandchildren. She served children from all backgrounds, starting her career as a special education teacher, teaching students with severe cognitive disabilities, and then, in one of the first programs to give students a head start, multiple model preschool. The teacher. Maybe most importantly, our mom valued learning. She was a lifelong learner and took incredible pride in being a first grade teacher. She was a champion of CGI math. Ever understood? Even after her retirement, she worked supporting math programs. As you can imagine, we grew up, and there was always a premium on education. She encouraged us to do our best, held us accountable when we didn't, and celebrated our academic achievements. I went from being a struggling reader to above average because of her efforts during one summer. She always analyzed our report cards and was quick to comment on underachievement. Then it happened. I got a job working in the registrar's office at Lakeland College. She had been a student at Lakeland College, so I had access to every grade she ever earned. Let me just say there was a lack of transparency about her college record. I never looked at the grade of C in the same way. We laughed about that many times. She loved to laugh. And a recent picture of her posted on Facebook with her hands at her sides, head tilted back slightly, standing on the beach, facing the water with her mouth open, laughing. Psalm 126 says, "When the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, we were like those who dreamed. Our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. The Lord has done great things for us, and we are filled with joy." Author Maurice Sendak of Where the Wild Things Are fame, a book my mom read to us many times as a child, when faced with his ensuing death, said, I'm clearing the decks for a simple death. There is something so poetically beautiful about the idea of clearing the deck. The tangible clutter, the stress of living, the emotional challenges of relationships. My mom had been clearing the decks for a while, emptying closets, organizing files, and giving my dad final directions on where things were and what to do. It was her last and greatest gift to my father. The simple death part is more complicated for the living. All death has a perfect simplicity about it, even when it feels complex and difficult for those left behind. Today is a celebration of life, a life well lived, a life in constant motion, a life of service and love. Her Spirit is with us today in all of you, and her head is tilted slightly upward, mouth open, eyes to the sea that lies ahead for all of us, laughing, celebrating, and urging all of us to be our best self. Amen.